Hello, everybody, and welcome to this eMarketeer webinar. It's been a while since we've done a webinar, and I am thrilled to get going. We have a record-breaking number of participants today, so either you've been really awaiting that we got back into the webinar game, or you're just psyched about the fact that we now have some exciting new options for LinkedIn and Facebook as your lead generation sources. Either way, I'm thrilled to have you here, and I can't wait to take you through some of the stuff that we've been working on in the past couple of months here and brought to you today in the webinar. So the focus today is obviously going to be how to get sales-ready leads from LinkedIn and Facebook, because we've now done LinkedIn and Facebook integration so that you can get those basically leads from your social media channels into eMarketeer. And more importantly, as is noted there on the title, you'll be able to enrich, nurture, qualify, and deliver these leads to sales. It's just instead of just having them in a list in your marketing camp there. So that is going to be our focus today. As mentioned, we will be covering a couple of things around these lead ads from LinkedIn and Facebook. First and foremost, figuring out what are lead ads and what are they good at for you as a marketer in the B2B space. Then we need to figure out how we nurture and qualify the leads we get from social media, so we actually maximize the value of our investment in our advertising. And then looking at how we deliver qualified leads to our colleagues in sales, because having qualified leads in marketing is great. It gives you great performance numbers, but if your colleagues in sales and account management and customer service can't see those leads, then what was it all worth for? First of all, being a marketing tool that focuses on leads, nothing gives me greater joy than that we're able to take these leads from news sources, such as your adverts on social media. So to be able to bring those leads into your journeys, into your flows, into your marketing processes, and really handle them effectively is what this is all about. And as you've seen before, probably, we believe that the reason why we're here as marketers is to provide qualified leads to our colleagues in sales. That is our primary objective when we do our marketing. If you're familiar with eMarketeer, you probably know this already, and if you're not, this is just a very, very quick overview of everything that's in the box. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is quite a new things have been added to the eMarketeer platform since we did a webinar last. So a lot of new stuff has come along. So if you use eMarketeer as your marketing tool, or if you use eMarketeer integrated into your SuperOffice CRM, a lot of new stuff has been appearing in your eMarketeer platform and on the SuperOffice side of things. You know of our channels. You can do emails, forms, surveys, SMSs, mobile apps, landing pages. You can track website visits. All of that stuff is still in eMarketeer, obviously, but we've added quite a few new features, like your ability to tag persons and campaigns in eMarketeer, so there you can create segments and score based on tags and so much more. We've added a brand new journey builder that enables you to build flows and journeys visually and with a lot of new features, both for your eMarketeer and your CRM integration purposes. As we'll be talking about today, we've included now social media sources, namely from LinkedIn and Facebook, so you can get leads from there. We've improved the way we enrich company and contact profiles. And on the SuperOffice side of things, we've added a lead board that helps you hand over your leads to sales. We've improved the marketing insights on the side panel, and you can organize your leads on the Kanban board. So a lot of new stuff. Needless to say, we can't cover everything in this webinar today. That's not the idea, but you'll see some of these things because they tie together and really make this this whole platform able for you to organize your lead management process. So what good is generating leads if you can't nurture these leads over time and hand them over to your colleagues in sales when they're good and ready? And all of this has to do with building journeys, with taking in leads, with handing them over to sales on the lead board and so on. So a lot of this really ties neatly together. Okay, so first and foremost, what are lead ads and why am I constantly dropping this name of lead ads? And you'll hear this being used throughout the webinar. There are a lot of ads you can do online. You can do Google ads, you can do banner ads, you can do social media ads to broaden your brand awareness, to communicate. But lead ads are a specific type of ads that are just really focusing in on lead generation, so capturing contact details from your leads when they convert so that you can follow up with them. And you may have come across these lead ads on LinkedIn and Facebook. On LinkedIn, they're called LinkedIn lead gen form ads, which is a quite long name, but overall just lead ads. And you've seen them on Facebook. You'll see that they have this call to action down below the ad. And when you click that call to action, a form pops up that is already populated with your contact details that LinkedIn has. The questions in the form is obviously set up by the campaign manager that designed the ad. So the number of questions asked in this form depends on what the purpose of the lead gen ad is. But in a nutshell, the lead ads on LinkedIn look somewhat like this. They pop up with a pre-populated form, and you can go ahead and submit it. On Facebook, for instance, on mobile, you'll see the lead ads looking somewhat the same. You have a clear call to action somewhere. When you click that, you will be shown the lead form that is pre-populated with the data that Facebook has on your contact. You'll be getting some privacy policy information, and you'll be getting a confirmation page once you've submitted the lead ad. So basically, those are the formats. So you have your ad creative, and when you follow the call to action, that link click on the ad creative, a pre-populated form appears. So that's the first thing that characterizes a lead ad. It's an ad with a built-in form that is pre-populated with the information that the social media platform has about you. It's very easy to convert for the leads, saying that meaning that they don't need to leave the social media platform that they're on. They don't need to leave their feed. They can simply convert on your ad, hand over their contact details to you right then and there, instead of jumping to your website or to landing pages or doing something else. They're really good when it comes to audience targeting, because you have the power of the campaign managers on Meta and on LinkedIn that helps you target your ads. So with all of the demographic and profiling information, retargeting information you have on these platforms, you can really be razor sharp and laser focused on your targeting with these ads. It's very easy to collect data. As mentioned, it's easy to give the data for the lead because it's already in the platform. The form is pre-populated with your content, and it's easy for you to collect this data as the lead ads take care of all of that for you. It's non-intrusive in the way that your lead does not need to leave the platform that they're on or the action that they're in the midst of. They can simply, with a very few clicks or tabs, submit their data and follow your call to action there. They work across platforms, so they work in the browser, they work on the mobile app, and they work across the Meta landscape. So in other places where you place ad on Meta, you will also able to get leads from there. And everything is built and managed on Facebook and LinkedIn. I'll get back to that. So you build your ads on Facebook and you build your ads on LinkedIn. You run them there with all of the targeting and budgeting and planning capabilities you have there. And that will help you reach the correct target group and build your ads on those platforms. So some handy resources, because if you haven't done a lot of ads on these platforms, or if lead ads in general are brand new to you, there are some resources here that I'll drop to you in the follow-up email as well. So these links, I'll put them in my email back to you. First and foremost, the eMarketeer support site is a good place to start. We have some articles on the support site that covers how the Facebook lead forms flow into eMarketeer, how you get started with hooking your eMarketeer account up to your Facebook account, and the same thing with LinkedIn. So the support site is always a good resource for you to get some background on the new features here, and Facebook and LinkedIn are no exception. So just have a look at those articles there that explains how you connect. If you have questions about how to do that, I also have some slides that covers that later on if time allows. So just let me know in the questions box if that meets your fancy. Then there are two good resources on LinkedIn. There's a LinkedIn Marketing Solutions that talks about lead ads, and then obviously your LinkedIn Campaign Manager, where you will be building your lead ads. So the first one, the Marketing Solutions page that I linked to here, is the page on LinkedIn Marketing Solutions that explains everything about LinkedIn lead gen forms, what they can do, how you set them up, how you can target them, and so on. So there's a lot of content on this page that talks about all of that. And then your LinkedIn Campaign Manager is where you build your campaigns. So if you're familiar with running ads on LinkedIn, you'll be familiar with the Campaign Manager. It's a prerequisite, obviously, that you have a Campaign Manager and a business account on LinkedIn in order to be able to do ads here in order for eMarketeer to connect to your LinkedIn campaigns. So in your LinkedIn campaigns, you will have your campaign groups, your campaigns, and your ads. So this is a campaign group I set up, demo campaign. In my demo campaign, I have a campaign called lead generation, and in that I have just one ad that is called from social media to sales in one click. If I open up, I get a preview of my ad. This is the one that I just showed you, and here's the pop-up from that ad. So in the Campaign Manager, you can edit your ads and build with all of the stuff that you're normally familiar with when you build your ads on LinkedIn. So nothing new there, but that's obviously a key component, the Campaign Manager for building ads on LinkedIn. And likewise, on Facebook, we have two great resources. There is the Facebook Business Tools that talks about lead ads, and then the Facebook Ads Manager, where you actually build your ads. So the first one is the Business Tools lead ads page that talks about what lead ads are, what they're good at, how you target them, how they run across the different components of the Meta network. So a great resource for you there. So check out that link. And then, of course, your Meta Ads Manager. Again, it's a prerequisite that you have an ads manager linked to your Facebook pages where you'll be running your ads. So same thing here. I have my campaigns and my ads. And in here, I can go ahead and edit the ads I've created. You drop in all of your creative, your text, your call to actions, and you link it to the lead ad form that you've created on Facebook. So all of this takes place on Facebook in the Ads Manager. You can see your previews and whatnot. So this is that has nothing to do with eMarketeer. All of this is built natively on the LinkedIn and eMarketeer platform, and that's by design. That's because all of the powers and changes and features that are coming to the Campaign Manager in both LinkedIn and the Campaign Manager on Meta, that's just the best place to build your ads and your forms. So those are some nice resources for you to check out, support side and the LinkedIn and Meta resources on how to do this and where you will be building them. All right, so all of this is great. It's easy to create your campaigns. You already have the tools freely available to you in LinkedIn and on Facebook, and you can go ahead and create ads and generate leads from them using the forms on these platforms. But if you stop there, what you will end up with is your lead visiting your LinkedIn or your Facebook ad, converting, and what you'll be able to get is a download of your leads in a comma-separated value. And you can open that up in Excel and format and whatnot. Now, this is not lead management. This is not something that you can hand over to your colleagues in sales. This is not something that you can action on. At best, you then need to import these manually into your email tool or into your CRM to follow up with these leads over time. But that's just really not a good process. So what we want to get rid of is all of those manual steps there and make sure that when you capture leads from social media, you're able to use the eMarketeer platform to its fullest, meaning that anything that comes through your lead ads on LinkedIn and Meta, you can see as engagement in eMarketeer. You can lead score on it. You can build profiles and enrich your contacts and companies in eMarketeer based on the interaction. You can create segments based on what is happening in your social media lead ads. You can start journeys. You can hand them over to the lead board for sales. Basically, everything you can do in eMarketeer, you're also able to do with the leads that arrive from your ads on LinkedIn and Facebook. So what does the integration include? Well, it means that all leads from your LinkedIn and Facebook ad accounts are sent to eMarketeer as new or updated contacts. So once you have connected your eMarketeer account to your LinkedIn and your Facebook business accounts, leads coming from those lead ads you're running on those two platforms are automatically sent to eMarketeer as new contacts or contacts that can be updated if they're already in your eMarketeer database. All answers that you received from these lead ads, so all of the questions that you have in your forms are sent to eMarketeer as engagement. So they will look just as if it was an eMarketeer form that was submitted into eMarketeer, so you can see all of the answers that were given, and more importantly, you can react automatically based on the fact that the form was submitted, or you could look at specific answers that were given in the form. It is supported by all eMarketeer features, so all of our filtering capabilities, your lead scoring, journeys, lead streams, lead board, all of those features are supporting the leads that are coming in from LinkedIn and Facebook, which means no more Excel. So no more shall we suffer with comma separated values and Excel lists and whatnot as our lead management process. Right now, we're taking this serious and doing a lead management process that works, that is effective, and that makes sure that we can cover all of the bases in that we need. And when we look at the lead management process, generating the lead, capturing the lead is the very, very first thing in that step, but it mustn't be the last. We need to consider all of the other things that are important here as well. So first off, we capture the leads from our website, from LinkedIn, from Facebook. We capture the contact details that is a result of the conversion of our lead. And then we need to go through all of these steps to make sure that we can actually deliver something to sales that is qualified. So after we capture, we seek to enrich the company and the lead with as much information we can from the web, from sources that we look at to identify what person is this, where is he or she working, what company is she working at, and so on, to enrich the profile of the person and of the company. And I'll show you some more details on that. Then when we have a good and enriched profile, we can start nurturing. That means that we can start sending more content to our lead to make sure that we keep them up to date with what we're about. We move them down the funnel and make them ready for a conversion, make them more mature to make a decision in their purchase process. And we need to then qualify if this is really a lead that's good for us. Does it meet our marketing qualified lead criteria? Does it meet our sales qualified lead criteria? Based on who they are, what they do, and what lead score they have. And finally, we can hand the leads over to the right sales team at the right time, which means that instead of showing every sales rep all of our leads, we make sure that the right leads get to the right sales team at the right time where they do their work, be it in the lead board in SuperOffice or the lead board in eMarketeer. We can hand over leads to the right people instead of showing everything to everybody. So this is the process that we're really thinking about when we're thinking about grabbing a lead from social. We need to think about the whole process here, and I'll take you through that concept here. So let's start at the very beginning where we capture a lead from LinkedIn, for instance, or Facebook. So somebody sees our ad and converts by downloading an ebook, for instance, and handing over as the price for that, handing over their contact details to us. Right? Typically name and email. So once we get this information into eMarketeer, we get a name, we'll get an email address. This is still a pretty cold lead because we don't know too much about Sandra, but eMarketeer goes to work on the enrichment part, which means that we're using our technology to figure out where does Sandra work, what is ProPlanner.com, what company is that, how big is the company, what industry are they in, can we find a company logo, can we snap screenshots from their website, can we find a profile image on Sandra, her LinkedIn and Facebook profiles, really gather as much information about Sandra as we can based on her profile, but also about what she does with our material. Is she visiting our website? Are she clicking the emails that we're sending her? So the enrichment is not only the profile information on the person and the company, it's also what she does when she engages with our content. That means we can start building a nice profile with rich information, and we can start adding lead score based on her. On her profile and her engagement with us, all part of the enrichment process. Then as we move further, we can then start to nurture. Now we have a nice journey planned out for Sandra here, so we know what we'll be sending her over the next couple of days or weeks, a series of emails. When she interacts, we can add tags, update her contact card, wait further along for time to pass or for her to do specific things, and we can keep that journey of information going, which means that we're constantly raising her knowledge about us. We're making her more mature in the sales process, moving her down the funnel. As a result, we can see the engagement that she has with our material. We can see that she interacted with us on LinkedIn, that she was active in the welcome email, visited our website, and so on. And as a result, her lead score will start increasing. Now we can start looking at the qualification of Sandra as a lead for us. We can start looking at the different qualification criteria that we have. Maybe we say that anybody that signed up for a webinar like today is a good lead. Everybody with a score of over 60, everybody who's not a student or seeking a job at our company, we can put those criteria into lead streams that are handed over to sales. And again, lead streams here, they can be pinpointed to specific sales teams. So when we've gone through the qualification here and Sandra is now qualified, eMarketeer can distribute Sandra as a lead to the Swedish sales team and the Norwegian sales team because she's a fit for both teams, and she will end up on the lead board as a marketing qualified lead. That's a long-winded story, Klaus, you may argue, but yeah, it is. The thing is, if you only focus on generating leads, buying ads, investing in them, but haven't thought about what am I going to do with these leads when they show up at my door after having converted, I'm just wasting money and resources here, and I'm certainly not making most of my time and investment on my ads. So thinking about this process of how it should pan out all the way from the capture to the distribution of my leads is really what I want you to be thinking about moving further. Now, this is all nice in PowerPoint, right? But I want to take you through this process in eMarketeer and show you how the process from capturing a lead on LinkedIn, nurturing the lead, seeing what enrichment we can do, seeing how we move the lead down the funnel and hand it over to sales in the tool itself. So we start with the capture, obviously. We need to capture a lead, and the starting point, and if you haven't seen journeys in eMarketeer, this is how a journey looks, and we can jump into the tool a little bit later, but this is actually how it looks in eMarketeer. So the starting point is that a lead is generated from a form, a lead ad on LinkedIn or Facebook. That is what starts this journey. So that's how we capture the lead. So somebody visits LinkedIn, they see my ad in their feed, they click download, they submit their details, and they're on their way to getting the content that I've delivered to them. So that's the capture. That's the very first thing that happens. And then already we get to work with enriching this profile that we've just received. So when the lead is generated from the lead ad, it's added directly into eMarketeer, and a lot of things start happening automatically. We enrich the contact. We try to find the profile image, title, social media profiles, company name, and so on this person. And the more information we have, the higher the lead score we can give. So we start the enrichment with adding profile information. The enrichment also includes what the person does, right? So the person signed up or converted on our lead ad on LinkedIn, and they have opened the email that we sent them as a result of that advert conversion. We also store contact information, so we try to get as much information from the lead ad conversion and from our technology, figuring out the title, the company, and so on that the person works at. We also gather the consent, obviously, so we set consent so that we can prove that we are compliant and that we have consent from this lead ad conversion. So that has to do with how we enrich the profile of the person. But as you can see, we also have the company here based on his email domain. And if I show the company view, this is all of the enrichment that eMarketeer adds to a person. Geography, aggregated lead score, profile information of the company, age, industry, their lead score over time. And as I scroll down, I get even more company demographics here. I see their social media profile, so I can click right through to their YouTube channel or LinkedIn profile. I see other contacts that are working at that company that we already know and which campaigns they're active in. So all of this is just gathered automatically and enriched based on that one conversion from that LinkedIn ad. So that's what we talk about when we talk about enrichment. All right, so we captured the lead from LinkedIn. We've started the enrichment, and now we want to start the nurturing. Right now, we want to convert this lead not only to a cold lead, but to a lead that actually knows more about us, and we can follow how they interact with the stuff that we send them. So the first thing there is to send them an email with our ebook, so they have it handy and that we can track what they do with that email. So that's part of the nurturing here. So you can see I'm going to send an email, and then I'm going to wait for them to interact with that email. And if they haven't done so within 3 days, I'm going to do something else. But let's have a look at what happens there. So I'm sending the download ebook email to my new lead. And as they interact with that, they click on and read the lead management ebook. I can use that information to further nurture and be informed about what the lead does. So as you can see, I can react to when that person clicked the download ebook. I can go directly down to my criteria here, or I can wait for 3 days. And if 3 days has passed and the lead hasn't done anything with my email, I'm going to check, did he download? No, I'm going to send him the reminder email. If he clicked right away or within a time frame of 3 days, and he actually did go ahead and download my ebook, I can start my qualification and further nurturing of this email. So now I'm going to say when this person downloaded my ebook, I will create him as a marketing qualified lead, and I will continue the nurturing by sending him more information that gets him closer to a sale. In this case, the follow-up email has to do with booking a meeting with a consultant to talk about our solutions, and at the same time adding the lead to the lead board as a marketing qualified lead. So let's have a look at the lead board. So this is the lead board in eMarketeer. This is where your salespeople will log into eMarketeer. They will just see the leads tab, or if you use SuperOffice CRM, you'll see the lead board in there. And on the lead board, lo and behold, there is a new lead as a marketing qualified lead. We can see the profile image, the logo of the company, title, company, the tags that are associated, which lead streams did this person participate in, and I can see the lead score. If I open up the contact card on the lead board, I get all of the information that we've seen before with the engagement, contact, and so on. And I can also see how he's moving through or why he's here at the lead board. I can see that he's a marketing qualified lead. He's ready to be handed over to sales. And I can see that he's a marketing qualified lead because he's a lead from social media on our ebook campaign. This page has a lot more information. I have the contact details. I can click to open the email address, open an email towards this guy. I can open his website. If I had the phone number, I could click to call, and I could see the lead score over time here as well. So that is how the lead ends up as a marketing qualified lead. He's not quite a super hot lead yet, but at least he is marketing qualified. Now, so he sits on the lead board. Then we automatically send him the follow-up email that focuses on book a meeting with us, talk to an industry expert, and learn more about our solutions. Now, needless to say, if somebody clicks book meeting here, this is a hot lead now. It's not just a marketing qualified lead, it's something more. It's something that we need to react on, and it should be reflected on the person and on the lead board. So what happens now is that after he initiates, we further qualify. We move him to the lead state called opportunity. We raise his lead score dramatically, so he's really a qualified lead, and we distribute it to sales. So it's on the lead board, it's in the opportunity column, and we can even add, if we are integrated into SuperOffice CRM, we can add activities and sales and so on inside SuperOffice as well. So just by the fact that he reacted to that second email I sent him, I can now, on the lead board, move him from the marketing qualified automatically to the opportunity column. So now the lead is added as an opportunity, or moved rather from the qualified to an opportunity. I can see that the lead score has increased dramatically. And I can see if I'm connected to SuperOffice, I can see that this person and company is now also created automatically in my CRM system. If I open up the lead again, I can see why he's now an opportunity. I can see the lead score over time, how it has developed. We have some profile information that gave some points. He submitted a social media ad form, so that gave him some points. And then finally, he requested a meeting, which gave him a lot of points there. So I can see that his lead score just increased. From this view as well, I can look at the engagement and see the journey that this person is on. So remember, if I'm in sales and I'm looking at the lead board, I don't know everything necessarily that's going on in the journey, but I can see all of the different steps here that this person has gone through. I can see all the way from the beginning where he came through via our lead ad on LinkedIn, the emails being sent, the emails being clicked and opened, and I can open up to see previews and more information about all of these interactions. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, if you work in SuperOffice CRM, the lead board is in SuperOffice CRM as well for the salespeople to use. So I can see my sales team, I can see the leads that are added to my sales team. And when I open up a person here, I have all of this information as well in SuperOffice. Now, this person was then automatically created in my CRM based on the journey. And I can click to open in CRM, which just click here. And the contact will open inside SuperOffice. So now I have the contact that came through via LinkedIn. I have an activity that is automatically created called telephone out, book a meeting, lead has requested meeting. And on the right-hand side here, I have the marketing insights showing me everything that I need to know about this lead, even though it came directly from LinkedIn. Nobody has had any manual interference with this lead. All of this happened in your journey. So the lead score is there, profile image, social platforms. I can see the consent status. I can see everything that's happened on the lead. I can see the lead score over time and so on. So just a wealth of information, all enriched, all added automatically to my process in the journey here. So we're at the end of this journey, and zooming out, you can see that they can become pretty long. They can branch out into different directions. But the thing here is, I want you to start thinking about this process of capturing, enriching, nurturing, qualifying, and handing over your leads rather than just grabbing leads from somewhere. Think about that whole process and how you can map it out so that your lead process does not look at just getting leads, but actually going through all of these different steps in your lead management process. All right, so let's recap real quick. First of all, social media is now a lead source in eMarketeer. So if you advert on LinkedIn, you do adverts on Facebook, really the lead ads are something that you should be looking at as an effective tool to generate leads. They're effective because they are easy to build, they're easy to do in LinkedIn and on Facebook, and you can target them very specifically either to your demographics or to retargeting people who've been on your website and so on, using the regular tools on the campaign managers on Facebook and LinkedIn. Then think about journeys and the lead management process. Map out, I've done so on my whiteboard here for this webinar, map out what do I want to have happen exactly when my lead arrives. What is the timing that I'm looking at? What is the most important call to actions that I want to listen to, score on, qualify on, and deliver to sales? And basically, you have all of the tools in your eMarketeer license. You have the journey, you have the lead board, and if you have a LinkedIn and a Facebook business profile, it's just a matter of hooking them up to eMarketeer to connect to your profiles there. All right. Let's open it up for questions and see if if there are any questions. Please do shoot me the questions. I know that my colleague Robert has probably been answering some of the questions along. Thanks for that, Rob. And let's see, here's a question from Ulla. Has the lead accepted to receive future news just because they downloaded the ebook? Do you use double opt-in? You can absolutely use double opt-in, Ulla, but what you want to make sure is whatever you do, that consent text or privacy text that you put into your lead ads, there's a specific field for that on both platforms. You want to make sure that you mention what you give consent for. And you can also add a consent box actually that needs to be filled out in the form. So you actually make sure that when you consent, when you give me those details, this is what you can expect. And when they set that consent, you can automatically update your consent in eMarketeer as well. So absolutely make sure that you explain what you're going to use their contact details for. Here's a question from Jessica. Is it possible to see your definition of score for each interaction? Absolutely. Just let me jump into eMarketeer real quick. The lead score is on the contacts card or the contacts tab. You have your lead scoring. And here we have some different things lined up. Now, if you haven't touched your lead score at all, you will see these two, the default engagement score set and the default persona score set. These are default score sets that we have included in your eMarketeer account that will add scores to your contacts. Let me just quickly grab the article on our support site on lead score. We have an article called Default Score Rules in eMarketeer. Here you can see how eMarketeer by default scores interaction and persona information, so profile information. So if you don't do anything, we will give 2 points for every person where you have a first name and a last name and a title and so on. We will give 5 points if people click a link in an SMS and an email, 15 points if people submit a form, and so on. That's just out of the box, but you can completely customize these things. For instance, I've done one for this demo called social media scores, and that is any contact who submits a lead generation form on SoMe gets 30 points for each submit. Let me open up a score for you and score rule for you and show you how it's done. So let's take the Facebook one, for instance. What I'm telling eMarketeer is in this score rule that, let me just zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to look at engagement and Facebook lead gen forms. Then it shows me which lead gen forms I have. In this case, I just have the Facebook demo form. I could also say any lead gen form from Facebook. And it needs to be submitted or submitted with a specific answer. I'm just going to choose submitted because these lead gen forms are really, really brief, really, really short. So that's all I need to do. I've told eMarketeer, you know, when a lead gen form from Facebook is submitted, go ahead and add 30 points to that person's lead score. That's it. And then I've done the same for my LinkedIn forms, and the lead scoring is automatically added. There's also a lead score on the meeting request. So that's the contact who requested a meeting with a consultant that gets 80 points. That's also a score on engagement. In this case, I'm looking for the email. Let me just go through the process. Engagement, email. I look at all of the different emails I have. Look for the one that mentions something with meeting. Can I find SoMe ebook campaign, ebook reminder, email, which book meeting, there it is. Book meeting email needs to be clicked, and I can look for a specific link, in this case, the link to my meeting booking form, for instance. So that's how I built the lead scores, Jessica. I hope that answered your questions. Here's a question from Louise. How do I connect with LinkedIn? And I guess the same thing for Facebook. This is from Louise, but I guess a lot of you guys have those questions. First and foremost, check out our support articles. They take you through that process, but I had anticipated this question, so I'm just going to show you how it looks from your end. Let me go to my PowerPoint slide here. So here's how you connect to LinkedIn. So in eMarketeer, on the cogwheel, the settings cogwheel here, you want to click plugins and integration. If you scroll a little bit down, you see LinkedIn. Click that one. And obviously it says you're not connected to LinkedIn. You want to click connect to LinkedIn, and it brings up a login box. So the one who should be logging in here is the one who has admin access to your LinkedIn business page and access to your campaign manager on LinkedIn. So submitting those details, it will say, okay, LinkedIn will now connect to eMarketeer, and we ask for these permissions so that we can receive leads from your ads. And then when you click allow, you're brought back to the integration page, and you can choose which of your business profiles and account IDs should be linked to your eMarketeer account. So that's how that's done. And it's pretty much the same thing. Just let me preempt that. It's pretty much the same thing for Facebook, obviously. So when you connect to Facebook, it's the same place. You go to settings, plugins and integration, scroll a little bit down, you'll find the Facebook integration. Click that, click connect. Same thing. If you're already logged in to your Facebook account in the browser session, it will just say reconnect. If you're not, you'll be asked for your username and password. And you're at the Facebook integration page where you choose which ad account you would like to link to your eMarketeer page. So this is done once for your eMarketeer account, so it works for your colleagues and the other users as well. Here's a question from Dick. Must you subscribe to LinkedIn Sales Navigator, or is LinkedIn Standard or Premium? No, LinkedIn Standard is enough. You don't need the Sales Navigator to do your ads on LinkedIn. You simply need access to the LinkedIn Campaign Manager, which is free. It's obviously not free to run ads because that requires a budget on your behalf, but you don't need Sales Navigator, Dick. Here's another question. When you say Meta and LinkedIn, can also Instagram and other social medias be linked? Actually, I just figured out yesterday when I was doing this presentation that when you run your ads on Meta and you build your ads for Facebook, these ads also are able to run on Instagram. So the lead form and the lead ad you generate on Meta and your campaign manager can run on Instagram as well, so you can generate leads from Instagram as well. And for now, Meta and LinkedIn are the two platforms that we have added as sources, so we don't have lead ads from other platforms just yet. Here's a question from Elin. If a user withdraws their consent on LinkedIn or Meta after filling out the lead information, will this update occur in eMarketeer as well, or will the information remain within Meta or LinkedIn? To my knowledge, Elin, there's no way to withdraw your consent that you've given to an ad on LinkedIn, because that consent is actually handed over to the processor of that information, which is you. Or the controller of that consent, which is you. So you lock the consent in eMarketeer when you start sending material and communication to your leads. Obviously, you will have an unsubscribe link or update my preferences link where people can withdraw their consent to your marketing. But there's no consent connection per se between Meta, LinkedIn, and eMarketeer after they've given you their consent for you to market to them. All right. We're at the 45 minutes, guys, and I anticipate a lot of questions. There certainly are. Keep them coming. I hope that you're able to stick around for more, because I think a lot of these questions are really valuable to piggyback on. So I'll just continue through the questions here. Here's a question from Stefan. Do you have any suggestion how to best use incoming leads as a new audience for retargeting ads to continue nurture on SoMe? Stefan, that is probably more of a marketing agency ad expert kind of question, which I am certainly not. But what I think is really strong is that you can now combine, you can really go multimodal. Right? So you have a lead that is either following you on social or stumbled across one of your ads because of your targeting. When they interact with that ad, you can start nurturing via email and other channels that you control, and you can retarget them with other ads on your campaign management platforms on LinkedIn and Meta, which means that you can kind of hit the leads from different directions. What I really like about capturing the lead and putting them into my own nurture process is that I own that list. I know when I communicate to a person, and I know that I will reach that person with my messages, whereas my ads and retargeting may or may not be shown to the different individuals, and they may or may not see these ads as they scroll through. So having that ability to interact with them or to influence them via more channels than just the retargeting and ads on the social media platforms themselves is really, really strong. Also, since you own the list, you own the timing, you also own the enrichment and all of the history and profiling information you gather around these people in eMarketeer in your CRM. Let's see. Here's a question from Stine. Can we do lead scores campaign by campaign? Someone could be a marketing qualified lead on one product, but not on another. So we want to be able to isolate a lead score to only one campaign and not to accumulate over time. Is this possible? Not quite, Stine. Lead score is relates to a person in eMarketeer and not to the campaign per se. So if we go to eMarketeer and we go to our contacts, the lead scores are on the person level. What you can do though is you can probably use tags for what you're interested in. If we open up a person here, you can see that on the right hand side there is also a new feature called tags, and here you can add tags to a person. You can create a new tag and you can manage and you can read more about tags here. Tags can be set manually, of course, but they can also be set automatically in the campaign. So if we go ahead and find my campaign for today, I could add tags to the campaign, which means, for instance, if I create a social media tag or an ebook tag, they could be added to this campaign, and all of the engagement in this campaign, form replies, clicks, so on, will have those tags associated. And the persons involved in those campaigns can be identified based on the tags. So instead of looking at the lead score in a specific campaign, I can look at the tags that have been associated to the contacts that were active in a specific campaign. So let's say that this campaign focused on the aviation industry, and I have another campaign that focuses on the car industry. Just making things up as I go along. I could add the tags aviation or the tag car to the contacts that interact with my campaign. So I hope that that makes sense, Stine, and answered your question. Here's another question from Jessica. How do you define when a lead is ready to be forwarded to sales? Any general tips? Well, the first thing is don't show up and throw up, Jessica. Don't send everything to sales. It's not qualified. It may feel good to get it off your chest, but that list will certainly be too long. The best tip here, I guess, is to talk to your colleagues in sales. What is a qualified lead to you? How does a qualified lead look, feel, and behave? What do they need to have done? What do they need to know? How much information do we need to have on them before it makes sense for you to see it as a qualified lead? And then once you have settled on those discussions or started those discussions, you can start doing your lead qualification. eMarketeer and the lead board. You will have this lead streams that you set up here. The lead streams, when you set them up, you define a name, for instance, leads from LinkedIn in Sweden, and then you can set criteria that matches that. So the leads that I want to see here are the leads that are from Sweden, that have converted in my LinkedIn campaign, and that have a score of over 50. And you decide that I want to show those leads to the Swedish sales team. And that's how you distribute your leads. So the distribution part is easy, handing them over to the right person in your sales organization. But the quality of the leads strongly depend on the discussion or the conversations you have with your colleagues in sales about what is a qualified lead for me. So when they show up in the lead board for the Swedish team, you want to make sure that the marketing qualified leads here live up to the criteria that you and the sales team share together. Now, if there are too few leads, you can loosen the criteria a little bit, so it's easier for a lead to get through. And if you have too many leads, you may need to tighten the noose a little bit and see if you can focus even more in the qualification criteria. So that pretty much concluded all of the questions. I know that there are still questions coming in. Keep them flowing my way, and I will try to do my best to follow up after the webinar with answers to your specific questions. But for now, I think that we need to respect everyone's time and round off on this webinar. I hope that it was useful for you guys to see what we've been working on, and I hope that it was inspiring, and I hope that you will start thinking about your lead management, lead generation in this bigger picture of capturing, enriching, nurturing, qualifying, and handing leads over to sales. I know I keep talking about sales, and I'm a marketer by heart, but handing over a qualified lead to a sales colleague and see how much more valuable that is when they receive a qualified lead with a lot of contextual information around why is this a lead, what has this lead done. It just makes such a big difference when they're able to follow up on leads like that, either in the lead board in eMarketeer or in the SuperOffice CRM on the lead board. It just makes the world of a difference. So, all right. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time on the webinar today. I promise that we'll be sending out the recording and a brief evaluation and all of those handy links and resources that I mentioned. I'll try to include those in the email as well. And then keep an eye out for the upcoming webinars that we'll be doing later this spring. So thanks for today. And I hope you have a lot of successful lead gen campaigns from your LinkedIn and Facebook business pages, and see them flowing into eMarketeer and onto your sales teams. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.